Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us. Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to make a comment on this story before we do a reader on it. This is bullshit. Because the Democrats freaking hijacked the brainwashed little fucking punks from high school now. Actually, not even high school. It's all the ages now. I mean, all the way from freaking grade school to college. They've brainwashed these morons into socialist fascism. Guns are bad. Blah, blah, blah. And stupid ass Rick Scott from Florida sucked it in. So now we're going to lose our rights. We're going to lose, you can't buy a gun until you're 21, but yet you can go into the army, into the military, and be killed with a gun. Holding a gun. Fucking stupid. Okay, the schools here were already like jails in Florida. There's a cop in every school, sometimes multiple. It's unbelievable. They have fences all the way around these places. And now Rick Scott's saying, let's turn them into prisons with tons of cops and make it even worse? Are you kidding me? Now they're saying that if we think that you're mental or you've been Baker acted, we can take your guns. Do you understand that if you're a free thinker, believe in the Constitution nowadays, that they'll say that you're mental? Hello? Wake the fuck up. They're going to call everybody mental, you fucking assholes. The reason for the shooting is the government. They created the soft target, god damn it. FBI screwed up. The cops screwed up. And yet they're going to fucking punish us for shit that they did. The gun didn't kill those people. The insane nutcase did. Feds didn't do their job. Local cops didn't do their job. And now you're going to punish us. You stupid ass sheep, socialist, fascist morons. Idiots. All you got to do is look at Britain. How, Jesus Christ, they banned them. Now they have so many people getting stabbed with knives and cut with knives, they're going to ban knives. How the fuck you going to do that? Same thing with Australia. The only people that have guns in those two countries are the bad guys and the government. Guess who wins? You guys are fucking stupid.
Florida will never be the same. Scott and legislature seek gun safety changes. By Steve Bouquet, Mary Ellen Klass, Emily Mahoney, and Elizabeth Koch. Times-Herald Tallahassee Bureau. Governor Rick Scott and Florida's Republican legislature called for major changes to gun laws Friday, but their proposals fell far short of what survivors of the Parkland massacre and Democrats are demanding. The slaughter of 17 people at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School last week, in the final weeks of an election year session of the legislature, immediately galvanized supporters of gun control and forced elected leaders to take immediate action. The goal of this plan of action is to make massive changes to protecting our schools, Scott told a packed news conference in Tallahassee, 2 days after thousands of people swarmed the Capitol to demand new restrictions on military-style assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. In the most significant change, state leaders agree that anyone who wants to buy a gun must be at least 21. Under current law, only handgun buyers must be 21. Beyond that, top Republicans disagree. The legislature wants a $3 a day wait for gun purchases, but Scott does not. The legislature wants to allow trained teachers to carry guns, Scott does not. Scott wants police or relatives to be able to take away a mentally unstable person's guns without having to forcibly commit them. The legislature does not. After seeking advice from sheriffs, educators, and mental health experts, and attending the funerals of several of the Parkland victims, Scott acted decisively Friday, demanding more forceful state action than he did after the Pulse nightclub massacre that took 49 lives 2 years ago. In somber tones, Scott began a news conference by reciting the names of all 17 victims in alphabetical order. Elena Petty. Meadow Pollock, he said slowly. He unveiled a plan to spend $500 million for safer schools, including $50 million more for mental health counseling, in response to the killing by a 19-year-old former student who had repeatedly made threats of extreme violence. No one with mental issues should have access to a gun, Scott said. It's common sense. Under Scott's proposal, judges can prevent a violent or mentally ill person from buying or owning a gun based on a sworn petition by a police officer, health expert, or family member. In addition, anyone involuntarily committed under the Baker Act must surrender all firearms for at least 60 days. Scott said federal background checks are unreliable and repeated his criticism of the FBI for a complete failure for failing to pursue a tip about the Parkland killer. Under the legislature's plan, gun owners would first have to be committed under the Baker Act before police could seize their guns, and they would have to be adjudicated mentally ill by a judge before permanently losing their weapons. Whenever you are going to deprive someone of something, you have to do it under a condition that provides clear evidence that that is necessary, said Representative Jose Oliva, R. Miami Lakes. Under Scott's proposal, police could ask a judge for permission to seize weapons without the use of the Baker Act, a plan sought by Broward Sheriff Scott Israel. Scott's plan also requires school resource officers in every Florida public and charter school, including one for every 1,000 students, a Department of Children and Families, DCF, case manager assigned to all 67 sheriffs, active shooter drills in every school, and state-approved school safety plans. Democrats criticized the plans by Scott and lawmakers as too little, too late. They renewed calls for background checks on gun buyers and an outright ban on the sale and possession of assault weapons, both of which Scott opposes. There is support for an assault weapons ban, said Representative Carlos Guillermo Smith, D. Orlando. That's what the students want, that's what the teachers want, that's what the Florida Governor Rick Scott lays out his school safety proposal during a press conference at the Florida Capitol in Tallahassee, Friday. Left, people crowd the entrance to the office of Florida Governor Rick Scott with boxes of petitions for gun control reform, after a rally on the steps of the state capitol in Tallahassee Wednesday.
Good morning. On the island of Tasmania, the worst massacre in Australian history is finally over. At least 34 people were killed and 4 others critically wounded when a 29-year-old gunman with a history of mental problems opened fire in a popular tourist area. The carnage came to an end only this morning after the gunman caught fire following a 12-hour standoff with police. He's alive and in custody today, Monday, April the 29th, 1996.
I would say that the politicians in this country, in Australia, have missed the boat entirely, and they've harmed a lot of people who didn't deserve harming with their laws and their approach to it.
A gun buyback that forced law-abiding citizens to surrender their firearms in a nationwide roundup and meltdown of all semi-automatic firearms and pump-action rifles and shotguns. 640,000 ordinary conventional firearms confiscated and destroyed. Cold, hard facts the anti-gun forces can no longer escape. Armed robberies have skyrocketed, up 69%. Assaults involving guns rose 28%. Gun murders increased 19%. And a new phenomenon, home invasions jumped 21%. And increased politicians insist they can explain.
What's happening today is that the offender, the bad guys, are happy to break into somebody's house. They're not frightened to break into somebody's house while they're at home.
Gun laws that have backfired. And Australians who have been forced to hide behind bars and deadbolts. Some are even installing extensive security systems.
It's disgusting that almost every day we learn of another person being terrorised, robbed and attacked in their home.
For Christ's sake, get a bit of vision.
We want justice. Carrying signs and chanting, "We want justice," more than 2,000 angry Australians delivered a personal message to Parliament's doorstep. They're fed up with false promises and sick and tired of living in fear. We want justice.
The bottom line is people want to know that they have a right to defend themselves.
Their warning to Americans: don't think it can't happen to you. It can, and it already is.
Unless you, as a firearms owner, get off your butt now and start to oppose those that want to take them off of you right here and now, I would say that within 5 to 10 years, the restrictions on gun owners in America will be similar to what happens in Australia.
Don't trust your politicians. Get in there, keep on their backs. Be a member of the NRA, be a member of your local gun club.
Be part of the NRA and never, ever, ever give up your freedoms, because that's, in the end, that's all you've got.
If you think you have rights, tomorrow the government can take them away from you.
I think the Americans have to be very, very careful, because, you know, their rights will be quickly eroded as ours have, and we don't have a chance in hell of getting those rights back.
County. This is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too, because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if some, if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.